Literally since Raiden was released, I've been working on this video, going over every different voice line that he has in the game, every intro dialogue. I didn't go through Clash quotes because that would have taken up way too much time. This already took me a lot of time. I'm also going to do another video like this, but for Black Lightning. That should either be coming out a little bit later on today or possibly tomorrow, but more likely later on today. Let's get started. This first interaction is with Black Manta.
Is no realm free of sadistic villains?
This one sure as hell isn't.
It is a struggle as eternal as the Elder Gods.
Whilst this isn't a very exciting intro dialogue, it's a very basic one that just kind of makes a whole lot of sense. This is yet again another time in Injustice where NetherRealm has managed to make two characters that I didn't think were going to be able to interact very well with each other and just do something great. There's plenty of examples of this. I urge you to check out more of the voice line interactions with Black Manta and Raiden. It's not fantastic, but it's way better than I expected these two characters to interact. This next voice line interaction is with a character I expected a little bit more from actually, which is Sub-Zero.
We are stranded in this realm, Raiden.
I believe our combat brought us here.
Then perhaps combat will take us home.
Whilst this voice line is just fine, one thing I like about it in particular is it shows off how, and I'm sorry about this, Mortal Kombat fans, if this offends you, but it shows how primitive the characters are from that world. Or maybe not primitive, but how eager and how passionate they are about combat. Next up is a voice line with one of my favorite characters in Injustice 2 who I don't think gets enough credit as far as the voice line interactions go, and that's Jon Stewart.
Are you alien, meta, or magic user?
I am Raiden, God of Thunder.
I'm thinking you escaped from Bel Rev.
Such a cool reference to Bel Rev. For people uninitiated, it's basically a prison in the DC world. It's been used in many different stories, and it's just nice to get a little bit of a reference for it, even though it's never been used in the Injustice world. How did I know Power Girl was going to show up on this list? The answer is obvious. She shows up on every list. She just talks so much trash, and of course, she had to make fun of Raiden's hat.
Get to the point, pointy hat.
You will need allies in the coming war.
Then I'll call the Justice.
Again, Power Girl I think is going to show up on all of my voice line interaction videos just because she makes fun of everyone. And whilst this is a pretty obvious joke, of course, you want to make fun of Raiden's hat because it's a little silly, but nonetheless, I still think it's executed quite well. This next one is with Harley Quinn.
In all the realms, there is no one like you.
Dr. Holly Quinzel, at your service.
Whether you are friend or foe eludes me.
What I like about this interaction is that Raiden is somewhat cautiously intrigued with Harley Quinn, saying that she's obviously fairly unique throughout the realms, but at the same time not really knowing what to do about it. At least that's the vibe that I got from the conversation. This next one is an interaction with Batman, who surprisingly doesn't show up too often on these lists.
Thanks for coming back.
My aid can tip the battle against Brainiac.
We're about to find out.
The reason I like this voice interaction so much is it's actually like an alternative way the Injustice story could have gone. Instead of breaking Superman out of the prison and going through all of that drama, why didn't we just call up Raiden and pals to come help with beating Brainiac? Because they're totally strong enough, they're totally powerful enough, but we just didn't do that. I think one of the big reasons we didn't do that is obviously because they're Mortal Kombat characters and you probably don't want to include them in the story because, you know, reasons. But still, in the context of this world where these people can just hop between realms, it is kind of funny to think about why didn't they just call Raiden and Liu Kang and all the other dudes who could have helped with Brainiac. This next interaction is with Black Adam, and I was very surprised to find out that they actually didn't have any, like, lightning jokes in between the two, unfortunately. They talked about how they both control lightning, but it was mostly them just bragging to each other, rather than any, like, puns or anything like that. I would imagine the main reason for that is because neither Raiden or Black Adam are particularly, quote-unquote, funny characters, or at least they're not supposed to be. So having them make a joke maybe isn't very characteristic, but I think it would have worked fine as a one-off, especially because it would have been unexpected because of the fact that they're just not comedic characters. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
You're weak, despite your power.
I have defeated both kings and gods. Then dethrone me if you can.
I like this one because whilst it is just kind of a ego contest, it would be interesting to see this match actually take place in like a full-on cinematic. My money's on Raiden, despite being a massive DC fan, but it would be interesting to watch for sure. I'm having to add this one after I finish editing the video because I totally forgot about this voice line for some reason. Jay Garrick.
We share a taste for unusual hats.
From where I come, mine is common.
Way to stick your foot in it, Jay.
That is such a cool interaction. Something about Jay Garrick wanting to get along with Raiden is very intriguing to me. Jay Garrick is such a cool guy. He's just a good dude, and seeing him fail to bond with Raiden and being disappointed about it is kind of amusing to me. Alright, moving on to the final character, but not the final voice line. That's Black Canary.
Combat's all about controlling conflict.
Wisdom worthy of the Shaolin, Black Canary.
That said, I still gotta kick your ass.
I really like that interaction because it shows so much of Black Canary's character, obviously just being a badass. It also shows Raiden's character showing deep respect to Black Canary. Perfect illustration of both characters. And then finally, my absolutely favorite voice line I've heard for Raiden, at least so far. Obviously, it could get better. They could release more voice lines, obviously with future DLC being added. And it's also possible I haven't heard them all, but I did take a long time to listen to most of them. Let's give it up for the Sindel shoutout.
You remind me of a queen I knew.
Wait till you hear me close up.
Perhaps you too fight like Sindel.
Of course I had to include the Sindel shoutout in this video. How could I not? What do you guys think of Raiden so far? Are you unlucky enough to be on the PlayStation and not have access to Raiden at the moment? If so, I'm quite sorry for you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Bilbzy, and I will see you in the next video, which will absolutely be a Black Lightning voice line video.
Holy mackerel.